Hello my friends and welcome to the Cultural Subjects channel. Today, as I promised, we are going to talk about the first official topic of the channel, which will be the aviation history. So please make sure that you are subscribed and make a like and share the video. Like this, you are going to receive all new contents and videos of the channel. So let's start. Flying in the sky was an old dream of man, and during all along the history, there was a lot of flying attempts by using kites and glidings. The oldest flying attempt was made in the year 875 by the Arab Andalusian scholar and inventor Abbas ibn Firnas, who managed to make a successful flying attempt for 10 minutes by gliding. He dressed his body in the feathers of a vulture and he flew for 10 minutes exactly. After, in the 16th century, the famous Italian Leonardo da Vinci also expressed his desire to fly in the sky, but unfortunately he has never made any attempt. By the end of the 18th century in Europe began serious flying attempts to make serious flying attempts by making more experiences and searches so as to build heavier than air machines. For example, in the year 1796, the British inventor and seer George Cayley made a helicopter. After, in the year 1809, George Cayley managed to made the first glider. After the Sir George Glider, the German engineer Otto Lilienthal managed to make a lot of successful flying attempts, which made him a flying man. He was called the flying man because he managed to make a lot of successful flying attempts in gliders. And after these experiences, the flying attempts by gliders continued by many other pioneers, such as the British Barcy Birchar, the Americans John Joseph Montgomery, and Maloney. The first successful flying attempt was made by the French Clément Ader in 1890. But unfortunately, it's not proved that Clément Ader at that time managed to fly or even to control the machine. By the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, flying history began to know a lot of progress because of the works and efforts of the Brazilian pilot Alberto Santos Dumont, who is considered in Brazil as a natural hero and the father of aviation. Alberto Santos Dumont, the Brazilian pilot, dedicated his time and himself to aeronautical study and experimentation in Paris. In Paris, he designed, built, and flew hot air balloons and also airly dirigibles. And for this, he won a prize for a flight that rounded the Eiffel Tower in the day 19 of October of 1901. After this, Santos Dumont turned to heavier than air machines and contributed a lot. And he managed to make the first flight in Europe on the day 23 of October 1906 by his aircraft 14 bis. After this success, of course, Santos Dumont made a lot of flying attempts, successful flying attempts, till the day of 4th of January of 1910, when the disaster happened and Santos Dumont unfortunately suffered an accident by his monoplane La Demoiselle. Well, after 2 months, in March of the same year, 1910, Santos Dumont announced that he was retired from aviation. In the United States of America, we have the famous brother Wrights, Orville and Wilbur Wright, who managed a lot and give a lot to the progress of aviation, since they were the first one to discover the first heavy machine and make the first heavy flight in America in the day of 17th December of the year 1903. Well, the longest flying time made by Orville Wright was 75 minutes. Imagine 75 minutes in an altitude of about 100 meters. So, from all this, we notice that the aviation prospered and progressed a lot with the Brazilian Alberto Santos Dumont and the American Wright brothers. Well, I am going here to talk about the military aviation, which progressed a lot in the First World War and the Second World War, but it's clear that between the two wars, the military aviation new and golden era, and the researchers and the planes that were invented at that period was significant really, and also these military researches contributed a lot to the progress of the civil aviation after the war. And nowadays the aviation is completely full and progress, and we have companies that produces planes and aircraft of all sizes, capacities, and security factors. We have, for example, the company Boeing, the American company of Boeing, which is the first company in the world, and the European company Airbus. Both these two companies are controlling till today 80%, 80% of the aviation market in the world. And after them, in the third place, we find the Brazilian company Embraer, which is also a famous company in Brazil of aviation, but it's dedicated only to the mid-range planes. For Boeing, by the way, produces long-range planes and mid-range planes. For the long-range planes, we have the famous Boeing 747 and the Boeing 777 LR and ER, longer range and extended range. And for the mid-range, we have the Boeing 737. Also, the Airbus has a variety of planes in the longer range, such as Airbus 330 and the 340 and 350. Airbus managed to produce the biggest and the heaviest plane of passenger in the world in the year 2005, which was the Airbus 380. But unfortunately, it seems that Airbus is going to to stop the production of the Airbus 380. So after the war, exactly after the war, it was possible to make transcontinental flights between North America and in Europe, since the factor security and navigation systems were developed completely, and it was possible to make safe flights Exactly as today. As today, most of the flights are secured and comfortable because every day there is innovation in the industry of aviation. But it seems that the aviation industry progress will never stop. After all this progress that we talked about, of the planes, types of the planes and aircraft, security factors, system navigations, and etc. 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 It seems that in the next few years we are going to have a new era of aviation, which will be the electrical planes. The electrical planes will be friend of the ambient and also will be cheaper for the companies. The companies will spend less will spend less money to make these planes work. So, my friends, this was a brief summary about the aviation history. If you like the video, please make like and share, and don't forget to subscribe in the channel. And thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to see you in the next topic. Thank you very much, my friends, and see you. Goodbye. Thank you.